Yeah, so let's work on the fourth project. So for this project, it looks like we are going to be using an LED. And however, this LED is going to be a RGB LED. So it can change colors, which is cool. And we'll also be using photo transistors to what do you call it? Determine which colors we will have the LED turn to. So a photo transistor just takes in light, and we're going to use light filters to make it so, like, depending on what type of light comes in, which colors, which wavelengths, the LED will light up accordingly. So we are going to need 3 photo transistors, and we are going to need a RGB LED. Looks like 3 220 ohm resistors and 3 10k ohm resistors. I have the 220s. I have one 10k here, so get some more 10k resistors out. Now I need my photo transistors. One. Here's 2. And here's the third one. Programming for a while, but would love to get into some engineering stuff. Yeah, so I'm using this thing called the Arduino Starter Kit. So if you've done programming, like, it should be pretty easy to follow, and it's really cool because they give you lots of circuit devices that you can use and play with. Like, I have these LEDs here that I've set up, and like this temperature sensor. So you can do all kinds of cool things, and they have a really good book with projects to like teach you how to use and program the board with all of these devices. So that would be a good start for engineering stuff. I know there's also like Raspberry Pi boards that some people do with. Like, if you're better at programming, I think that should be pretty easy to get into. But yeah, there's all kinds of cool stuff like that. Oh, what was I? RGB LED. So the thing with these RGB LEDs is they have 4 pins. One of these guys. 4 pins. As opposed to the LED having just 2 pins. So, means we have a little bit more details to make sure we're paying attention to. Okay, so going back to this RGB LED with 4 pins. So the longer pin will go to ground, and then it goes red. Red is the one to the left of the long pin. Blue is to the right, and then green is the one all the way to the right, 4th pin. So let's put that in. Pop this in. A little bit, put in pins. What I like to do is put the long pin in, outer pin first. And spread the other ones out accordingly. Try and get it in. Okay. So that slots in. Focus. Yeah, so at school I did a class where we played around with Arduinos and stuff like that, and I've taken lots of circuit theory classes, so a lot of this stuff I've seen before, but the book actually has like a lot of very good like explanations about what you're doing, So even if you haven't learned that much about circuit theory and stuff like that, and how to use these devices, it's really easy to follow, and they teach you about like why you're doing stuff, not just like, oh, do this, which is cool. And then there's also like pictures that they have of what the board should look like if you're wiring it properly. Yeah, it's a good kit. Let's add these 20s in. So this is going to be our connection to ground, not to ground, to power the board. Do this go like this, and then eventually we are going to connect. If I can do that now, actually, we'll connect this to the end of the here, and then we're going to connect it to pin 11. It looks like. And the thing with these pins now is we have to be careful. These pins, they have these squiggly lines, which means that we can use pulse width modulation with them, which is basically to change the outputs from high to low very fast, or over a fixed period. So you need to make sure that for things like these RGB LEDs, if you want it to change colors and stuff, you need to use these digital pins with the squiggles, squiggly line. Okay. So then the second pin is our ground pin. So let's connect that to ground. I had a third bag of wires. I don't have a third bag of wires. Interesting. So we're gonna connect the second pin ground. Ground. Okay. Yeah, so right now I'm building a circuit that will read in information from these photo transistors. So basically how much light, depending on how much light comes in, and then it will accordingly change this LED, and it'll light up a certain color depending on what type of light is coming in. It's pretty cool. So, right from my yeah, so just like I connected this first one, we'll switch the wire out. Now let's take our resistor. So this is this wire we will connect in modulation pins 10. So pin 11 will be red and pin 10 will be okay. So I need another Fast. Nine. So, okay, so now our LED is set up. Hard to see. Yeah, so our LED is set up, and now we have to deal with the photo transistors. And they want us to use these color filters, which are these strips. So let's get those. We're basically going to place that above the photo transistors, so then it only lets a certain type of light through, type of visible light. And they also have the, yeah. So the kit comes with these little plastic stuff to help your slot in some of your circuit devices. So in this case, we're going to use the 3 rectangular ones, and that will hold our photo transistor and the strip. Guys. Ooh. Here. These photo transistors have two ends, the collector and emitter side. So it's like a diode. The collector side is the long end, and the emitter side is the short end. That's something to keep in track. So basically it determines which way that the current flows. Take more wires and yeah, it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun. Yeah. Sounds like a good idea. Yeah, it does get a little pricey. With how much they give you though, it's a pretty good deal. Yeah, so I'm planning on streaming these projects on Tuesdays and Thursdays for now, and I'm hoping to do like 1 or 2 projects a day depending on how long each project takes. So these first few projects have been like 30 minutes about on average, so like doing 1 or 2 is good, but if it starts becoming like hour-long projects, I'll probably only stick to 1 project. But yeah, on Tuesdays and Thursdays, I'm looking to stream these. Take our resistors now. Not. Almost in. There. Cool. Phototransistors. So it's sort of in there. Okay, I think it's in. So now back to coding. So let's make a new file. Okay. So let's declare our pins. Constant int. Say green, red, and blue. Green, call it green LED pin equals. This case, green is 9. So 9. Red LED pin equals. So wait, actually 11, I believe, because it goes red is the outside, blue, and then green. Okay, that's not 11, that's 20. Blue LED. Okay. Now let's set up our sensors. Green sense equals. Green is this one, and it's connected to 2. So A2. Sets pin A1 constant blue sense pin equals A0. So we're just declaring which pins are connected to which device. Now we need to set up our initial values as the RGB values go from 6, I believe. So we're gonna set up our initial values. Red val equals 0. Blue val equals 0. Green val equals 0. So 0 is just set to be off and not be on. Right, and now we need to enter our sensor values. As the sensors also take in value, we want it initially set to 0. And okay, so that's it for the declaration. Now we need to do our setup. Let's do serial.begin 600. So we are just going to take in our, it's telling the board and the computer communicate with each other at this speed 9600. And next we declare our pin modes. So green LED pin mode. Green LED pin output. And we're using output pins as you want it to light up and do something. Output pins. Change the red. It's the blue. Nope. Right. So that's it for the setup. So now let's get into behaviors circuit into this loop. So first off, it looks like, right, you're going to set up our sensor values. That's just to read stuff. Red sense equals analog read, because we're reading from an analog pin, and we're going to red sense pin. Next, we will put in a little bit of a delay, milliseconds. Just good to do, so it doesn't try and run everything consecutively. Same time. This blue. This one. Green. Okay, so we have our values set to adjust which pin played earlier are sensor pins. Next we will set up the values to print on our serial monitor. Serial print. Serial print says sensor values cabin tab character by doing \t. Serial print red sense, so it'll print the value what the red sensor is taking in. So tab blue serial print blue sense serial print green. Then so since this is our last part of the line, we are going to use serial print ln, so it prints a new line at the end. So yeah, that's it. Now we are going to declare our red val to be equal red sense divided by 4, which is just a factor to try and get the phototransistor values into values that put into the RGB LED. So okay, next we are going to print those values on our serial monitor as well. Those color values. This is going to be val. So, okay. Cool. Lastly, I want to write to the pins of this LED so that it lights up. So we analog analog write, and red LED pin red val. So to the red LED pin, which we declared at the top, we will feed it in the value of red val. It's what the sensor is taking in divided by 4. So we do that for each pin. Okay. That should be it. So plug that in and see what happens. Plugged in. Call this project 4. Okay, it compiled. Let's open our serial monitor. Yeah, so the on this so if I cover certain parts, LED changes color because it's taking in less light. And I can show this in the serial monitor. And so the serial monitor is reading in the values that we're putting in. So if we hover, green value goes down, and then we release, and then the green values stay the same. It's kind of hard to see, but and then it goes back to what it defaults to. Cover the red one, and the red one goes down a bit. Kind of hard to cover completely. It uses less red. Blue, we can do this. Oh, filter came off. Yeah, that's the gist of it. Depending on cover, LED filters. We can also put in more artificial light. Sometimes it makes the values even stronger. Yeah, so that's basically it for this project. There's things you could do where you can control the colors in different ways instead of just intaking light. And I think that kind of stuff is really cool, so depending on what the later projects try and do. Thank you for watching this video. That was taken from my stream on Tuesday, and I actually did a stream today where I did a follow-up on this project, and I did more with the LEDs. So I might be posting that later on this week, but it's probably just going to be the entirety of the stream. It was more interactive, so I thought instead of trying to edit it to be like a tutorial thing, it would be more of just watching me work through it kind of a video. So look forward to that. That'll probably come by the start of next week. And yeah, so again, I'm going to be streaming the next project next Tuesday. So follow my Twitch channel if you want to catch that. And yeah, please like and subscribe if you like this content. Thank you.